You ever seen the chart online where it's like, the more you F around, the more you find out? That's how I feel every time you take your car in and you're trying to, diagnose one problem, you come out with another.
The more you F around, the more you're going to find out.
We're pulling into Future Wash. We should be the very first car today, and I'm actually right on time, and they're normally set up right here in this parking area, and I look like I am early, but that's okay. Look at the dust on the front of my car. Oh man, look at that dust. We gotta get this thing cleaned up. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Jared here, GTC. We are going to create another video here that's gonna take place over the course of about a week. Got a number of things to do on the Hellcat Redeye. That is what we're focused on in this video. Starting with getting it washed. This is only the third wash for this car. First was at the dealership when I bought it. The second was at the detail shop, Dynamic Detailing, and this is actually the first official wash outside of that environment. It's just been a crazy time with a lot going on. The second thing we're going to do over the course of this week is to do the check-in on the PPF, which is once you get your car PPF, they want you to come back. Takes about 45 minutes, goes over the whole thing, make sure everything's cool. We're going to do that. Then, unfortunately, we got to go back to the dealership for an issue. The light inside of the trunk is not coming on. And of course, where do you go when there's an issue like this? It's not a major issue, but it's annoying. You go to the forums, you check out what people are saying about it. Turns out, I think I kind of got it diagnosed because the light, the indicator light on the dash, when the trunk is open, there's supposed to be an indicator light telling you that the trunk is open. It is not coming on either. So I think it's the latch unit on the trunk itself. So that would need to be totally replaced. They would have to pop off the trunk liner, and I hate this stuff. I hate taking my car into the dealership for stuff like this where they have to take things apart, and it just drives me nuts.
You look a little stressed.
Oh, I'm stressed.
It is what it is. That's what a warranty's for. So it's small. I could live with it, but it's annoying and it's not right. Two other things I'm going to have them do while we're there. And I may sneak an oil change in, even though I'm not even to 1,500 miles yet. I may do it because, I don't know, maybe not. The second thing I'm going to have them do is install these mud guards up front that should have been put on at the dealership, but I told them not to touch it. So, of course, they were sitting in the trunk. I'm going to put them on. I like the way it looks with those. I did it on my Scat Pack. Looks good. Third thing is, there was also in the trunk this air deflector kit, and it gets installed like behind the wheel, and it's supposed to deflect some of the air coming off the big rotors. I frankly don't know a lot about that. Anyone knows anything about that or has done this to their Redeye, drop a comment below, let me know. I'm gonna have them put it on because it's supposed to be on, and it came with the car, so we're gonna have them do that as well. So let's start with this car wash and kick this video off.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so there was a mix-up on the appointment between staffing and location and all that BS. So I've got to go to the other location. I almost didn't want to, but I'll give it a whirl and take it over there. It needs to be washed. So, little wacky start to this whole thing, but we'll get her done.
A few moments later.
All right, story time while I'm sitting here with my my Starbucks, waiting for my car to be cleaned. So I lost my red key to my Hellcat Redeye. So let me tell you what happened. I was out, it was when I was getting my car tinted, and I went walking around, shopping, got some lunch, got back in the car, And if you go watch the video, towards the end of that video when I'm driving home, I kind of noticed that my car was a little more gutless. Turns out it was operating off the black key and not the red key, which I had given the tint shop the black key, obviously, and not the red key.
If you own a black key and you have a Hellcat, you got no reason to own this thing. You see this? Trash.
So I get home and I realize I've lost my red key and I'm in a panic. So I call every place that I went to and asked them if they had the key, or if anyone had turned it in. They said they'd call me back. I left my information. So, you know, got to be about 7, 8 o'clock at night, and just on a gut instinct, I said, you know what? You call these places, it's somebody making minimum wage. Are they really putting in an effort to find my key? No, they're not. So I packed up my daughter and I headed to the mall because I knew a couple of spots I went to. And I physically went into those places and asked them to go look at the lost and found, or to contact the manager on duty. Bingo, my key was there. I was so freaking glad to get that key back, let me tell you right now. It was kind of a minor miracle that somebody had found it and handed it over. They were like, yeah, what's this? And handed it over. Those aren't cheap to replace. Anyways, moral of the story is, don't take people's word for it. Go back and physically try to find your stuff if anything goes missing. Don't count on others to do it for you. So, you know, going there myself, that's what made the difference. But I am reunited with my red key, thank goodness.
The more you around, the more you're gonna find out.
Well, so the car looks great, I guess.
Why did it all turn out like this for me? Every decision I've ever made in my entire life has been wrong.
I'm looking at the car, and when your car is really, really clean, you can see everything, right? And I see 2 small, shallow creases, and I'll probably show them here. One in the same place as my other Scat Pack had it. Freaking speed bumps. And one in the roof. It just, so how did that happen? And this is why I freaking hate taking my car places and putting it in the hands of people. It's just irritating. It didn't happen here. I'm sure of it. They're just wiping the car down with, biodegradable, solvents. It's frustrating because the one on that back C-pillar is where it's at. Same place as it was on my Scat Pack. Those are tough to get to, man. I don't know how they're going to take that out. I really don't. And the one on the roof either. So I'm pissed. I'm totally pissed. Add that to the agenda this week of something I got to deal with. It's just BS, man. This is where you just get pissed off at being a car owner. Anyway, off we go for the next thing.
Eventually.
Oh, guys, all right, we're interrupting the flow of this video with this unexpected turn of events where these dents that I've discovered, or depressions or whatever, I got to get these things fixed. They're driving me nuts. So in the subsequent days, I have really investigated who can fix these for me, because in fact, if you want to know who's a real pro and has experience at dent removal, tell them your car is fully PPF'd and see who tucks tail and runs, because a lot of the dent folks are like, whoa, I don't know about that. I might. Anyway, so I called around and really searched. I found a guy. I had to drive about 45 minutes to have this guy look at things. And this guy's been doing it for almost 30 years. And I will put his information in here and include it. But he's been working on the car for about 2.5 hours right now. To fix the one on the roof, had to drop the headliner. And get this, he discovered 2 other small little subtle ripples in the car because, you know, they got those lights and they can put it on. So anyway, I just got a text. The car's ready to go. I'm gonna go check it out right now and hopefully get back on track to these other items I was gonna do to the Redeye this week. But holy crap, what a pain in the you-know-what. All right, well, we got this bad boy taken care of. Check this out. And I don't know how well this stuff shows up, but roof is perfect. And the sides are perfect. Interesting thing, this guy Ted, and I'm gonna put his information down below, found another dent here, and found 2 more dents. Actually, he said 3 along here. 1, 2, 3, just slight subtle depressions. So all told, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 on the roof, 5, 6 all told.
The more you're gonna find out.
Whatever, dude. Bottom line is, this bad boy is back to 100%. Looks perfect. And we are ready to rock and roll. What a nightmare.
One eternity later.
We are now heading to the detail shop again to just have them look over the PPF that has now been on the car for a number of weeks and see if there's any little nits that they need to take care of. That's just standard procedure. Still brings to mind as to WTF on these, I'm calling them dents. They're kind of like depressions, small ripples. It's still, you know, it's a discussion point. Is like, you know, what the heck happened? And I think the cautionary tale here is that any vehicle that you have anything done, if anybody is handling your car, there's risk. There's risk. It doesn't take much to crease the metal in a car on the body. It doesn't take much at all.
Every time I drive down the road, I want to jerk the wheel into a goddamn bridge abutment.
We fixed them. Car looks amazing. We're gonna go get this PPF looked at, and then on to the dealership, I guess, to finish off this video and get those other parts installed. So,
By sheer coincidence.
all right, I'm at Dynamic Detailing here, and if I'm being totally honest, moment of true, I don't want anyone touching my car. I mean, nobody. Unfortunately, that's not reality. Well, they're done with their inspection, maybe 20 minutes, and there she goes. Coming around back to the front. Sweet. Well, and that is that. Couple little spots on the PPF that had lifted up. There was around the rear Charger logo on the deck lid. Some of the edges is kind of slightly bubbled up. That's really what you find with this PPF. Nothing's perfect. It's impossible. You're putting a layer of clear protective plastic type stuff all over the car. Anyway, we close this chapter, I hope, on dents and PPF inspection and other garbage. You know, quick side note, in my Googling and searching for someone who, ooh, there's a nice Scat Pack.
Squirrel!
Smoke show, beautiful. In my search for finding a solution to these dents or whatever, I had ordered a couple of cheap dent pullers. Because you know what, you're desperate, right? I'm just like, maybe I could just slightly pull these things out myself.
Use all that lifting power that you've had recently.
See, that's the problem with it.
Oh. Yeah, too big.
Kind of a joke, right? It's like basically a suction cup. Don't try it on your own. I wouldn't recommend. Totally ineffective.
Despite all our best efforts, unfortunately, we were not successful.
Not worth it. Waste of money. Just go get a good dent guy.
Eventually.
All right, guys. So it is, I don't know when you're gonna see this video, but it is weeks and weeks later, and I had an appointment to take my my Redeye in. I got the plastic seat covers to protect the red leather, taking it into the dealership and having them work on this thing, and yeah, new car, paranoid. Hopefully this helps. I don't know. Anyways, I'm taking this back to the dealership. I went in for an appointment, and based on the stuff I want done to the car, they just couldn't get it done in a day, or they couldn't accommodate it that day, and I was traveling. So it's all right. I made an appointment, 3 or 4 weeks out, and here we are, continuing this video. Anyway, so we're gonna have them do a few things to the car. Mainly it's that rear trunk light. They're gonna fix that. They've got the part in. We're gonna put these mud guards on. There's this Redeye, it's an airflow thing that goes up under the suspension that was supposed to be put on at the dealership, but of course I told them not to touch the car, so it's my fault, and we're gonna have them put those on too. We'll see if they do a good job, and it's always cross your fingers time when you're taking an expensive vehicle into a dealership. Any kind of repair, I don't care if they're doing PPF or detail or warranty work like this. I hate it, but it's part of the game, and what else are you gonna do? At the end of the day, it's a car. You gotta have it worked on. You gotta have them take care of it and get things done. So we're gonna drop this car off. It's like, I don't know, almost 7:30 here in the morning, and hopefully they get this thing done in a day, and we'll wrap this video up, and hopefully all is well, and I don't see any additional damage or weird stuff to my car. If I do, I'm gonna lose it.
Oh, I'm stressed.
Okay, so it is 2 days later, and we are back to pick this car up. And I'll give you the rundown of why it was 2 days and not same day. Hit a couple of snags, but hopefully we are good to go, and I'm gonna check this car out, and hopefully they treated it well. I'm sure they did. Ironically, today is Friday the 13th, so huh. And there she is. Hey, what's up, Dan? I'm stoked so far. Want to see plastic? Okay, take some of that off. Okay. Leave inside. Right. That's awesome. They left the car inside for me. I love it. All right, so we are in the Hellcat Redeye. Unfortunately, I'm only got the black key on right now.
You see this? Trash.
And looks like this plastic helped a little bit. It's super thin, and it did get shredded with the folks taking it out for a test drive. One of the things I had them do is I noticed in the last 100 or so miles that the steering kind of, all of a sudden one day I was driving, it just kind of was off, slightly off center. Maybe it's just as the the car gets broken in and things adjust, and I mean like maybe a half an inch to an inch, just a little bit annoying. So I had them take a look at that. Looks like they fixed that, so we're driving and tracking straight. Looks like I mean, again, maybe I'll notice something weird as I drive it, but so far so good, man. I've looked across the outside, it looks nice. I dig the mud flaps on. I wanted to wait till I got the PPF done until I put those on, or the mud guards, whatever you want to call them. I think it just helps. Kicking these tires, these huge 305s, kick rocks up like a mother scratcher, man. So I am unfamiliar with this airflow kit that goes on the suspension of the Redeye, and it came in my trunk, as I've talked about. If you do it without a lift, you got to take the wheels off. Now, because I had the car in the shop, and they were able to just lift it up and pop it on, didn't have to take the wheels off, didn't have to, you know, risk scuffing up the rims, all that kind of stuff. The real thing that took time was the freaking light in the trunk light. And this is where, like, seemingly, you know, small issues can really be perplexing sometimes. So I had tried to do self-diagnosis, you know, and I had you know, thought that it was the latch itself, because the light on the dash doesn't show up, yet so the indicator light, so the trunk is open, the indicator light on the dash isn't showing that the trunk is open. So I thought, okay, well, maybe it's the latch itself. They went in there and everything was getting power, so they took everything apart, and ultimately he said that they were on my car, multiple people, for like 3 hours trying desperately to figure out what this electrical issue was. And they thought at one point they may have to replace the wiring harness, they may have to replace another part that's all up under the dash, which would be a major surgical procedure.
The more you around, the more you're going to find out.
So fortunately they stayed a little late last night and figured it out, and apparently it was the ground. There was a bad ground in the wiring. So the ground had then shorted out the latch. So in retrospect, I was right. It was the latch, but it wasn't because of the latch. It was because of a bad ground, which either shorted the latch or did something. So they fixed it. They replaced the latch. The light in the trunk goes on now. And it's one of those things, like, I don't want to, like, be chasing one small problem and create a bigger problem. That's how I feel every time you take your car in and you're trying to, you know, diagnose one problem, you come out with another. I mean, I remember taking my Pontiac G8 into the shop for just some basic maintenance. Came out, they crushed one of the sides on a pylon pulling into the repair bay. Big old huge dent. I was furious, of course. So again, the more you F around, the more you find out. So I didn't want to end up, you know, messing around with, you know, wiring harnesses, disassembling the entire dash, and then cause some other problem, right? Putting it back together, etc. So those are all the things that you go through in your mind. So anyways, I was grateful to hear that it was just a ground. They fixed it. Car's all set. Redeye's sounding good, except for the fact I only have the black key right now, so I'm basically driving a Scat Pack with a little bit of a whine to it. But hey, it's all good. I'm just grateful to be back in my car, and I just love driving this thing. And even at the reduced power, listen to that. It's still beautiful. So everything seems okay. I'm gonna wrap up this video, guys. Thank you for being a part of the GTC family, and we will catch you on the next one.